he takes the risk of using a real tiger in his film. No film director in those days dare to shoot a film with a real tiger in it because it's very dangerous to bring the tiger. Tiger is a ferocious animal. Sometimes it can go wild and kill people. So the real risk is there. But Satyajit Ray, being a very sincere filmmaker, wants to shoot the scene with a real tiger. Let's see how he arranges this tiger for his film. Let's read paragraph number 9. Having thought of the scene, I simply had to shoot it. But where were we going to find a tiger? The obvious thing to do was to look in a circus, since they were likely to have trained animals. As a matter of fact, one called Bharat circus was visiting Calcutta at that time, holding shows in Marcus Square. We sent someone to make an appointment with its Tamil manager and then went to meet him one morning. He greeted us warmly and ordered South Indian coffee for us. The manager heard the reason for our visit, then sent for one Mr. Thorett. He turned out to be the ringmaster. He too was a South Indian, very well built with features somewhat like those of a Nepali. He was perhaps no more than 40. He showed us an old scar on his forearm which had been caused by a tiger. Satyajit Ray's plan was to make a film, GoopyGyne Bhaga Byne, and there is a scene in the film where a tiger comes and walks around the forest. He needs a real tiger for the shooting of this film. So his plan was to contact a circus company, because the circus company has got many trained animals, so it may be possible for them to have some trained tigers there. And very luckily for him, a group of circus was just giving shows in the Marcus Square in Calcutta. Some circus company was staying there in Marcus Square in Calcutta. So Satyajit Ray, he thought about contacting the manager of the circus for getting a trained tiger. So first he sent a person to meet the manager of the circus to fix a day for a meeting. And once he got a date for the meeting, Satyajit Ray and some of his helpers, they went there to see the manager of the Bharat circus. He was a person from Tamil Nadu, a Tamil man. The Tamil manager just heard what he wants to tell them. Satyajit Ray told the manager that he needs a tiger for shooting his film. He needs only some shots in his film. He discussed this matter with the manager of the circus, and he was very friendly and he greeted them, And then he heard what Satyajit Ray has got to tell him, and then directed him to a ringmaster. A ringmaster is a person who gives training to animals in circus, and his name was Bharat. He was a very strong man. He looks like a Nepali in his appearance, in his face and his appearance. He looks like someone from Nepal, a Nepali, a very strong man, and he was the ringmaster. And Satyajit Ray, he had a discussion with this ringmaster, Mr. Bharat, about the purpose. Satyajit Ray told him that he needs a tiger for his film GoopyGyne Bhaga Byne, and this is the scene. The tiger has to walk calmly from the forest and walk a few steps and then move a few steps and then going back to the forest. This is the scene he wants to shoot with the tiger. He discussed about this to Mr. Bharat, and they are planning how to shoot this film with tiger. Okay, let's go to the next paragraph. We told him what we wanted. The shooting was taking place near Shiuri in Birbhum. We wanted to show a tiger in a thick bamboo grove. All the animal was required to do was come out of the bamboo grove into an open space, pace gently for a while, look at the camera if possible, and then go back. Could a tiger from Bharat circus do this job? Bharat nodded. How long will you need it for? Asked the manager. Perhaps a couple of hours for the shooting. I replied, but that would be in addition to the time it will take to travel to and from Shiuri. On being told that the travel itself should take no more than 2 days, the manager agreed to put the tiger in its cage and send it in a lorry. He invited us to take a look at the tiger. Do you think it's going to be easy to set the animal free in the bamboo grove? I couldn't help asking. At last, Satyajit Ray and his crew reached in the Bharat circus. They met the manager of the Bharat circus and discussed the matter with him. And then he asked how long they need the tiger for. Then Satyajit Ray told him that he needed only for a few hours because he wants to shoot a simple scene in which a tiger is coming out from the bamboo forest into an open, a plain space, and then going back to the bamboo grove. This is the scene he wants to shoot. So maybe he needs 1 or 2 hours, a couple of hours is enough for shooting this scene. But the problem is that the shooting location is near Birbhum, which is little far away from Calcutta. So it will take some days to reach there in the shooting location, and once they are in the shooting location, they need the tiger only for 1 or 2 hours because only a small scene needed to be taken from there. And the circus manager, he thought about it and then he planned like this, because this place, the shooting location is a far away from the town, so he can send the tiger in a cage in a lorry to the shooting location. And he also directed Mr. Thoret to help Satyajit Ray and his team. And they just watched the tiger. And on the way to watch the tiger, Satyajit Ray asked a question. Do you think it is safe to set the tiger free in the shooting location? Is it safe to take the tiger and leave it there to move freely? Mr. Thoret, he said that he is not sure if it is safe or not. Let's read the next paragraph. Mr. Thoret frowned. I'm not sure, he replied. I have never let him out of his cage on his own, so really I don't know. What were all our plans going to go down the drain? How could we let the tiger's trainer be seen with the animal? How could GoopyGyne Bhaga be petrified with fear if the supposedly ferocious animal was accompanied by a man? No, we could not allow that to happen. Here the problem is that for shooting this scene, Satyajit Ray wants the tiger alone, not the tiger with the trainer. Because this is a shot in a film, two characters, Goopy and Bhaga, standing there, and the tiger is coming from one side, just walking around there and just returning to the forest. But if the tiger is coming with the trainer, then that scene cannot be taken with the trainer. So the trainer should not be there, only the tiger should be there in that scene. That's why he asked, is it safe to let the tiger out freely? Then Mr. Thoret said, I'm not sure because I never let this tiger come out of its cage of its own. And he said that it may not be safe because this is a dangerous animal. Is the problem. The tiger is there. He got a tiger from the Bharat circus. And the trainer is also there, Mr. Thoret. But in that scene, the trainer should not be there. The scene is two persons who are frightened or petrified by the sight of a tiger. If the trainer is also there with the tiger, then the actual value of that scene is lost. So he has to shoot that scene with the tiger alone, without the trainer. How can he make it? And Satyajit Ray and Mr. Thoret discussed about this problem, and they found a solution for this problem. Now let's see how they are going to show the tiger without Mr. Thoret accompanying it. Let's read the next paragraph. Mr. Thoret found a solution. I will tie a wire around the tiger's neck. It will be thin but strong. If the wire was thin enough, perhaps it would remain invisible to the camera. But it was likely that the hair on the tiger's neck would be flattened by the wire, which would give the whole thing away. What if we found a collar made of tiger skin, fixed the wire to the collar, and then tied it round the tiger's neck? I said. Satyajit Ray, he was a very intelligent man. He, with the help of Mr. Thorett, found a good solution to this problem. At first, he thought about tying a wire around tiger's neck, and Mr. Thorett will hold the other end of the wire so that Mr. Thorett will not appear, will not come in the scene. And the wire is a very narrow wire, and so it will not be shown in the scene. It will be invisible, not seen in the scene. So this is the plan. Take a long wire, very thin wire, but very strong. Otherwise, the tiger will break the wire and will run. So, their plan was to tie a strong but thin wire round the tiger's neck, and Mr. Thorett would hold the other end of the wire. This is the plan that Mr. Thorett suggested. But here is a problem. He is a film director and he wants his shot to be perfect. What will happen if you tie a wire round the tiger's neck? That part of the skin will be flattened. Some changes will be there in that part where the wire is tied. So the viewers will understand that this is done by tying some wire. He does not want people to understand that, because he wants to be perfect in that shooting. So he think about another plan. The wire, if you tie it around the tiger's neck, the skin will be moved here and there a little bit. If you tie a wire round the tiger's neck, the hair will be disarranged in that area. The hair will be flattened because of the wire. He is a film director who wants his film to be perfect in every detail. He did not want such a negative mark for his film. So he finds another solution for this. His plan was to make a collar, a very strong collar with the tiger hair covering that collar, then keeping it on the tiger's neck and joining the wire on that collar, not on the neck of the tiger. He wants to put a collar round the tiger's neck and connect that wire to that collar, so that there won't be anything abnormal in that scene. The wire is very thin and will not be seen in the shot. So Satyajit Ray really planned to shoot this scene with the help of the ringmaster Mr. Thorett. Paragraph number 13. In a village called Nirthum Gram, we found a suitable bamboo grove to film the first meeting between Goopy and Bhaga. And the appearance of the tiger. Mr. Thorett reached the shooting location with the tiger. There were about 25 people in the location. A few local people took our permission to go with us to watch how we tackled the tiger. So, in this memoir, Satyajit Ray was talking about the shooting of the film GoopyGyne Bhaga Byne. There is a scene in the film where a tiger is coming out from the forest, frightening the two people, Goopy and Bhaga, but not attacking them and just returning back to the forest. So they first decided to shoot the scene in a place called Nirthum Gram. They need a bamboo grove, a bamboo forest for this particular scene. And they got such a place, they found such a place in Nirthum Gram. They found a bamboo grove in Nirthum Gram and decided to bring the tiger to Nirthum Gram. And Mr. Thoret arrived there, and he had brought two tigers instead of one tiger. He brought two tigers to the shooting location. In a lorry, they brought the tiger, and instead of one tiger, Mr. Thoret was a smart person, so he had brought two tigers instead of one. And Satyajit Ray was surprised to see two tigers because he expected only one. Then Mr. Thoret told him that he wants to play it safe, because if one tiger is not getting ready for the shooting, they can use the second one. So with that purpose, he had brought two well-fed tigers to the shooting location in Nirthum Gram. And some people were also there who came to watch the shooting. And when the tripod is the stand for the camera. When the tripod was placed there and the camera was placed on the tripod opposite to the bamboo grove, everything was ready, the scene was ready, and now they have to bring the tiger. The tiger was brought there with the special collar around the neck of the tiger. It was already fixed on the neck of the tiger, and they brought a very strong rod and fixed that rod into the ground very firmly or strongly, then attached one end of the wire to that rod, that iron rod, tied one side of the wire to it and the other side to the collar of the tiger. And now he just opened the cage and let the tiger come out of the cage. Let's see what happened.